I had accepted death. The rock beneath me was cold, its sharp edges digging into my back as if eager to claim me for the void. My breath came shallow. My blood, a thick, silver current, trickled from my side. Even my mind, one sharper than a blade of chorus steel, flickered like a dying star. We had failed. I had failed. And then he appeared, not as a conqueror, not as a soldier, but as a man, human, warm-blooded, breathing heavily from the climb, eyes wide with mix of confusion and wonder. He froze when he saw me. I expected him to reach for a weapon. Instead, he dropped to his knees beside me, his armor scraping stone. "Don't move," he said, his voice softer than I imagined humans could speak. There was no venom in it, no fear, only urgency, and something else. Something I hadn't felt since the last sunfall on Thalkara. Compassion. 2. I am called Varea, daughter of Selenkor, last of the Thalkari Sentinels. We were the first to reach the system, drawn by the signals of a rising species. The humans. Primitive, yes, but unpredictable. Vibrant. Capable of something even we, in our arrogance, had forgotten. Hope. The High Ascendants had declared them a threat. They always declared threats. But I had my doubts. Doubts that led me to the battlefield. And now, to this cavern on the edge of death. 3. The man, he called himself Kale, worked quickly. He had no translator module, yet somehow I understood. His hands were steady as he pressed cloth to my wound, his brow furrowed with focus. "You're gonna be okay," he said. "Just stay with me." I wanted to laugh. What did he know of Thalkari biology? But I stayed still, watching him. His armor bore the marks of recent battle. A gash across his shoulder. Plasma scorches near his ribs. He had fought us, probably watched his comrades fall to our precision strikes. He had every reason to leave me bleeding in the dust. But he didn't. Why? 4. "You're not what they said," he murmured as he checked the bandage. I blinked. They said your kind was merciless, that you don't feel. He glanced up at me. But here you are, dying, and afraid. I wanted to deny it, to snarl, to defend my honor with the last of my breath. But I couldn't, because he was right. I was afraid. Afraid of my people. Afraid of his. Afraid that in all our power, we become so fixated on dominance that we forgot how to coexist. That in destroying them, we were destroying the only reflection of what we once were. I drifted in and out of consciousness. Each time I awoke, he was still there, shielding the entrance of the cave during a storm, boiling water with a thermal pack, whispering stories, not knowing if I could hear, but saying them anyway. He told me about Earth, the oceans, the music, the way people still fought, but also danced. I told him eventually about Thalkara, the spires of crystal, the sky that shimmered in violet waves, and how our wisdom had hardened into doctrine. He listened, really listened. 6. 3 days passed. On the 4th, I could sit up. On the 5th, I could walk. That night, I stood at the mouth of the cave, watching the twin moons rise. "Why didn't you kill me?" I asked. Kale stood beside me, arms crossed. "Because you looked at me the way I've seen soldiers look at each other. Not as enemies, as people." He turned to me. "We keep being told who we're supposed to hate. Maybe it's time we stop listening." 7. The next morning, the fleet came. Thalkari dropships. Dozens. Shimmering black metal blotting out the sky. Kale didn't run. He stood between me and them. One man against a tide of judgment. "This is madness," I said. "They'll kill you." He shook his head. "Then let them see it. Let them see who the enemy really is." 8. They took us both. I was brought before the tribunal. My wounds healed. My record erased. But my honor questioned. They asked why I had not completed the mission. I answered with a single word. Kale. They showed images of battles, of cities burning. I showed them his kindness, his courage, his defiance of his own hate. They threatened exile. I offered it willingly, because I knew the war was no longer worth winning if we had to become monsters to win it. 9. Kale and I left the systems behind. Together, we found a quiet world, one with no flags, no oaths, no wars, only stars, and questions, and love. It began with a cave, a wound, a look. She thought it was the end. It was only the beginning.